Alright, now we're going to talk about creating generic exception handlers. So I'm going to go back as a quick recap. In the previous sample, the one right before this in the posting in Blackboard, we did arithmetic exception. You can see that right there. Now you'll see that we just do an exception. And this is another form of object-oriented design. And if you remember, encapsulation is one of them, inheritance is the second, and the third is polymorphism. So since exception is higher in the hierarchy than arithmetic exception, we can use polymorphism to roll that exception up to here. So this is an exception object that handles any exception that comes below it. And if you look at that hierarchy chart I posted in Blackboard, you'll hopefully be able to visually see that. So the only difference is that we're capturing the exception versus the arithmetic exception. This error rolls into this error or this exception. And when you're going to add the swing, because we're going to have a pop-up box come up, which will be much nicer to look at. Alright, so right here we have a system.out print line. It's a general error. We do the E2 string, we do the get message, and we do the stack trace. But I also have a J option pane come up where I put out to the screen in a message box an error has occurred with a new line. We get the message, we do two new lines, and then we get the following will tell you the type of exception. We have a new line, we get the to string, and of course I give myself some credit here. And you notice that we don't have the print stack trace going because you can't capture that, at least in this particular code, and then put into a message box. But I will show you how to do that later, and I promise. So right here is the exception that we see, general error here. We see the E2 message here, which gives us the actual exception and the message. We just get the message here, which this piece of code does, and of course we get the stack trace telling us at line 20 we got a problem, which is right here. So now I'm going to shut this down and I'm going to run it again, and here comes up a pop-up box, which most people find a little more visually pleasing. And how we did that is, you see we have an error occurred, and then we have a new line, we concatenate it with the message, and then we actually do the to string, which gives us the type of exception in the error. So you can see you can do a lot with this.